What is going on, lads, and welcome back to Pokemon FIFA. As you can see, we are running around like absolute lunatics, as there is quite a bit of Pokemon in this episode, so I have fast forwarded up to cut out the boring little bits of exploring. As you guys probably know, it is Team of the Year at the moment, so if you want to go and get yourself some coins, maybe open that 100k pack that has come out today, maybe buy yourself some of the awesome Team of the Year players, there is a link down in the description to the game keys, where you can go and get yourself some coins, use the code AJ3, and you'll get 5% off, and I think there's a Team of the Year discount, check on Twitter, on their Twitter, we can get 10% off as well today for that 100k pack. But as you can see, Viridian City's gym is locked, and we can't really do anything with that. So what we are going to do is we're going to go into the Pokemon Center. We are going to make sure our team is nice and fully fit. As you guys know, we haven't had any faints or any deaths or whatever you want to call them in Pokemon where we've lost the player and he's gone down a level, as that is what we have decided to do. If we do lose a game, we are going to knock one of our players down, he is going to faint, and we're going to have to use the level below until we can get to a Pokemon Center or use a potion on him. So another thing that I wanted to tell you guys, having a lot of Pokemon is quite good, as I can tell you guys and talk to you guys and ask you questions and stuff like that. And one of the things that I wanted to say to you is there's always talk of upgrading the man of the match each time or having the man of the match evolve, but unfortunately that does tend to be my strikers, so that is not something that we will do. I am just going to pick and keep the team nice and balanced. But after all that, you can see we have finally gone into our first game, and it is a bit of a weird team. He's got some silvers, he's got some bronze, and he's got an informed right mid playing at centre attack and mid, which is pretty fucking weird. So, considering how strange his team is and how little chemistry this guy had, we did expect to absolutely batter him, and to be honest, we were all over him for most of the game. You can see us hitting the post there with our absolutely insane striker, who we are going to start calling Ducky, as his name I cannot pronounce. But unfortunately, we just couldn't get the goals in this game. It was one of the most boring, I suppose you could say, although I was battering them the whole time, and he did have a couple of chances himself as well. He nearly got lucky here with my goalkeeper eventually picking up the ball. In terms of goals and scoring, it was the most boring game of Pokemon FIFA that I have played so far this year. We just couldn't get the ball into the back of the net. You can see a nice little run from Ducky here, going through on goal, getting a little bit lucky, plays it out wide. We're going to cut inside with Aiden, who is an absolute beast, but we just couldn't wrap our foot around it. And then eventually it does bounce out to Hoiberg, and we get the goal on the 45th minute, just going into the box. A little bit of scripting maybe, the way it bounced out to us, and we could tuck it away to go into half-time in the lead. So after all that and all them chances that we had in the first half, it just wouldn't go in the back of the net. We did eventually get to go into the lead after half-time, and once more we came out and we just tried to push on even more and score as many goals as we possibly could. This is about as close as we did get. A beautiful ball into the box from Lamb, and Ducky almost heading it in, but once more, absolutely boring, couldn't get the ball into the back of the net, and we did come away with a 1-0 win, so we can't really complain in the fact that we have gone and got ourselves an evolution. It is going to be Stevanovic who is evolving this time, but we could complain as it wasn't very good with the highlights. But like I said, Stevanovic, the other Stevanovic, is going to be evolving that centre attack and mid, and we're going to be evolving him into an absolutely awesome rare bronze centre attack and mid, and that is Stendera. This guy is a lot better than Stevanovic, who I found quite clunky to dribble it. Even though he could sort of boss his way through a defence and score some goals, he was quite clunky, so we have gone and picked up this guy who's got much better dribbling, and he is still just as fast and strong as well. So I do enjoy using Stendera, and he's proved to be a pretty decent player when I have carried on using him. Not the most amazing, but still cannot complain with his level, especially when you're talking about bronzes. But as you can see, we've came across our first trainer battle now. We did obviously battle Gary in the first episode, who we all know is a bit of a bellend. This is just a random guy who decides that he wants to fight, and once more, bit of a strange team. He's got a silver in goal, he's got some golds in there, but again, he's got no chemistry, and he is using quite a lot of bronzes. So once more, we enter this game expecting to win, and hopefully we can score a lot more goals and make it a bit more exciting than we did in the last game. But just as I say that, you can see that we are going into half-time at 0-0. So once again, an extremely boring half. But as a Pikachu would, we are going to spark this game into life after half-time, shoot a bit of energy into it, and it does actually become a really awesome game. We start things off going through on goal with Ducky. It did take till the 72nd minute for us to get a goal, but once we did, the floodgates opened, and this guy went absolutely mental and just could not stop scoring. Pick up the ball here in midfield, a little bit lucky with the tackle from Kadira, and then he goes through on goal, a lovely little chip through ball over the top, holds off the defender, and then a quality finish into the bottom corner. The keeper just absolutely rooted to the spot, couldn't do anything to stop that. Not 8 minutes after we scored the first goal, we scored once again after taking 72 to score. And then Aiden or Aiden, however you pronounce his name, slots once again Ducky through on goal, who once again finishes nicely into the bottom corner. Keeper maybe could have done a little bit better that time, poor coming off his line, and we just tucked it underneath him nicely to get the hat-trick 2 minutes later. And then 2 minutes later, once again, look who was running through on goal, same guy again, and once again, keeper rooted to the spot, and it is drilled into the bottom corner. 4 goals in 15 minutes for the same guy after not being able to score for the entire game. Just on the end of the match, he maybe gets a little bit of script and whips it into the box, beats my defender in the air, and nods it into the back of the goal to make it 4-1, but that does not matter as we have won, and of course that means we are going to be getting our evolution. So this time we are going to be upgrading our right midfield, and he is Erwig Drupel, is how I think you pronounce his name. I don't help myself with these names, do I? But he isn't the best. He was okay, not the best of players. I didn't hate him, I didn't love him, but he is the lowest rated team and player in the team. And we have evolved him into Konecki. Is that how you pronounce his name? Like I said, I do not help myself. This guy actually isn't from the Bundesliga, but he is the only rare bronze right midfield that will fit into this team. He is German, so he gets the links up nicely when we flip the 2 centre defensive mids round to keep him on full chemistry. So you can see, lads, that is the team that we have come away with at the end of this episode. It's a really good team, and it is getting better and better with every episode. That Konecki guy turns out to be absolutely unreal, and of course Ducky up front is just an absolute god. But if you have enjoyed this episode, I would really appreciate it if you'd leave a like. If we could hit 500 again like we did last time, that would be absolutely awesome. Make sure you subscribe if you are new. Thanks for watching, lads, and I will see you next time.